When British Airways CEO Sean Doyle stepped up to the podium at the Farnborough International Airshow last month, nobody expected what came next. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the aviation industry, British Airways announced not only the complete refurbishment of their entire Airbus A380 fleet, but a strategic commitment that extends their super jumbo operations through 2040. This is the same airline that grounded every single A380 during the pandemic. The same carrier that industry analysts predicted would follow Air France's lead and retire these massive aircraft permanently. Instead, BA has just made the largest single investment in A380 operations since Emirates' last order in 2013. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary: while Airbus ended A380 production in 2021, while Lufthansa has mothballed half their super jumbo fleet, and while even Singapore Airlines has reduced A380 utilization, British Airways is betting their premium long-haul future on an aircraft the industry had written off as obsolete. The numbers are staggering. We're talking about a £2.5 billion investment program that will completely transform BA's A380 experience, introduce revolutionary new cabin products, and position these aircraft as the flagship of their long-haul network for the next 2 decades. This isn't just refurbishment, this is reinvention. To understand why this announcement has caught everyone off guard, you need to know that just 18 months ago, BA's A380's were sitting in the desert, seemingly forgotten casualties of the pandemic. Now, they're being positioned as the cornerstone of BA's competitive strategy against Middle Eastern carriers and the key to their premium market dominance. Let's rewind to understand how we got here. British Airways was actually one of the A380's earliest supporters, signing their original order in 2007 during the program's optimistic early days. They took delivery of their first super jumbo in 2013, eventually building a fleet of 12 A380-800s configured in their signature 4-class layout. But the A380 story is one of the most expensive failures in aviation history. Airbus initially projected sales of over 1,200 aircraft. They delivered just 251 before shutting down the production line. The aircraft was simply too big, too specialized, and too expensive for most airline business models. The super jumbo required specific gate infrastructure that many airports couldn't provide. It needed passenger volumes that only existed on a handful of the world's busiest routes. And it consumed fuel at rates that made it uneconomical unless every seat was filled with high-paying passengers. During the early 2010s, BA's A380's found their niche on ultra-high-demand routes like London to Los Angeles, New York, and Dubai. These aircraft could generate over £2 million in revenue per flight when fully loaded, thanks to their spacious first and business class cabins that commanded premium pricing. But then came March 2020. As international borders slammed shut and passenger demand evaporated, the A380 became aviation's most visible casualty. Its massive size, once an advantage, became a liability. Airlines needed flexibility and efficiency, exactly what the super jumbo couldn't provide. British Airways parked their entire A380 fleet in March 2020. For 2 years, these billion-dollar aircraft sat silent in maintenance hangars and desert storage facilities. Industry experts began planning obituaries for the super jumbo era, with many predicting that BA would follow Air France's lead and announce permanent retirement. The competitive landscape also shifted dramatically. Emirates, the A380's biggest supporter with 116 aircraft, began reducing frequencies and parking portions of their fleet. Singapore Airlines delayed their A380 return. Even Qantas, whose A380's were profitable pre-pandemic, struggled to find routes that could support the massive capacity. Meanwhile, the industry was rapidly pivoting towards smaller, more efficient aircraft. The Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 offered 85% of the A380's range with half the operating costs and the flexibility to serve smaller markets profitably. These became the new darlings of airline fleet planners worldwide. So what exactly has British Airways announced that's so revolutionary? The centerpiece is a comprehensive £2.5 billion fleet modernization program that will transform their 12 A380s into what BA is calling luxury flying palaces, and that's not marketing hyperbole. Starting with the first-class cabin, BA is introducing what they're calling the first apartment, fully enclosed suites with sliding doors, 6 feet 8 inches fully flat beds, and dedicated wardrobe space. Each suite will feature a 32-inch 4K display, wireless charging, and what BA describes as hotel-level amenities. This puts them in direct competition with Emirates' legendary first-class suites and Singapore Airlines' luxury offerings. The Club World Business Class is receiving an even more dramatic overhaul. Every single seat will have direct aisle access, no more climbing over fellow passengers. The new seats convert to fully flat beds and feature 8